Okay, very good morning to you. Yesterday we have seen the different derivations related to boundary layer theory. And once again, I have to take the review what you learned in yesterday's lecture. So you learned the displacement thickness, equation for the displacement thickness, momentum thickness, energy thickness, and the nominal thickness where you have to learn it. Now let us see one example. I will go fast because of that. This Von Karman's momentum integral equations. So what about this Von Karman momental integral equation? Do you remember this equation? Von Karman momentum integral equation. Where is that? Tau 0 is equal to rho v square d theta by dx. So even though you have to note down in your the short notebook, this equation is applicable for solving the problem based on the own Karman's momentum integral theory. Now own Karman's momentum integral equation. So as per this equation is also applied for laminar as well as for the turbulent boundary layers. And according to the boundary conditions, if the u component is tends to the zero, that is the initial condition, differentiation of this component. So these are the derivations, and finally you got the equations like that. That is du by dy with y is equal to delta is the thickness, which is now equal to zero. You apply, use this equation, and you can able to solve the problem. So we'll take one example, that is a velocity profile for a laminar boundary layer is given by this equation, where the u by v is equal to 2 times of y by delta minus y by delta bracket square. And question is asked like that: find an expression for boundary layer theory, thickness, delta, and the wall shear stress. So as per the given data, this is given value, that is equation, and you have to differentiate those equation as well as integrate this equation so that you will be getting the different thicknesses. Now the our first task is to find out the momentum thickness. As you know, the equation for the momentum thickness theta is equal to 0 to the delta is the limitation, is the integration u by v into bracket 1 minus u by v into the gy. Simply substitute those equations about this u by v. So this is the u by v, which is now equal to 2 times of the y by delta minus the y by delta square. So you write here these terms u by v instead of this. Also 1 minus of this u by v, and add these results and finding those values where you will be getting the answer theta is equal to 2 by 15 times of the delta. Then according to this momentum equations, that is for Von Karman is developed this equation, momentum developed equation. Substitute the value of theta by 2 by 15 delta, already you have to be defined, you have to be determined as per the previous step. Substitute those values here, 2 by 15 by delta, and find out the values for the shear stresses at the different places of the y. And you know the Newton's second law of the viscosity, as you studied in the first or second chapter, tau 0 is equal to mu into du by dy if y tends to the 0. And if you continued and substituting the value, if y is equal to 0, what would be the value of tau 0, which is now equal to 2 times of the mu v by delta. Then if you are equating both the equations have the same value, you add the find this, and the boundary layer thickness, that is the delta, you can be able to find out with this equation, and which is now 5.48x by root of rx. I am not explaining all the steps. This is the part of mathematical. Directly I am going with the steps so that you can understand it and thoroughly you can understand how the problem is going to be solved. So the next part is the wall shear stress. So from the equation number 2, that is the tau 0 is equal to 2 times of the mu into u by delta. So you have to substitute those values, root of this rex, and tau 0 is equal, this is the equation, so that the tau 0 is equal to 0.36 by mu u by x into root of rex. This is the standard equation, already you have noted in the earlier steps, and the analysis is done by applying this Von Karman's momentum and integral equations. Assumptions are there, where if u as a function of n, that is eta is equal to y by delta, and invariant of the x. Similarly, u by v is a function of eta, and which is now equal to, as per the third order or the polynomial law now here. Then applying these boundary conditions at different values of the y, and you can be able to solve this, and where you will be getting the value for d is equal to minus 1 by 2 and b is equal to 3 by 2. Therefore, as per the equation, u by v is a function of eta. Substitute those values, and we'll getting the values of the tau 0, and this value should be equal to, find it, and you put up the equation number 1. So you have to simplify those equations, and finally you will be getting, as per the Wurtz-Kerman's theory, so delta is equal to 4 point, this is the nominal, that is the boundary layer thickness, 4.64x into root of RH. Then tau is 0 is equal to this equation, substitute those values and find out the tau 0. Similarly, you may go with the drag force. Drag force, you have d is equal to 0 to the L, tau 0 delta x, and L is the length over which the drag is intended to be found, and drag force you can be able to find out. And then finally, you need to find out the FD value, which is now 0.46. So these are the steps you implemented as per the Wurtz-Kerman's theory, and the local coefficient of the drag CD, which is now equal to tau 0 by 1 half rho v square. This is applicable for the last chapter, but you remember this equation for the drag coefficient, and tau 0 is the boundary layer shear stress, average coefficient of the drag, which is now equal to FD by 1 half rho a v square. You apply this equation for determining the drag force acting on the entire plate. Then for laminar boundary layer, so this equation you apply, remember and note down this equation for the drag force, and the tau 0 CD is the drag coefficient, and drag coefficient shall be worked out by using this equation. You note down, and I had to make it to the square bracket. You note down this equation, and for the CD you substitute those values, and you can be able to find out this equation 1.29 root of REL, where the R Reynolds number is defined by the parameter rho wheel L by mu. So this is the second problem. I am not explaining this second problem. Turbulent boundary layer over a flat plate. These equations and are very much important, but I am not trying to explain it in more details. You note down also these observations: boundary layer, which is proportional to the x raised to 0.5, x raised to 0.5, then x raised to 0.8. Then for turbulent boundary layer, average drag coefficient CD is equal to 0.0 C13 REL 0.2, and the CD is equal to, so let us note down this. I will so these are the equations you can be able to find out, and according to this theory you can be find out the solutions. So different problems I have. Then let us see the next problem on the hydrodynamically smooth and the rough boundaries. This is the new concept you apply, and you can be able to understand this theory related to this hydrodynamically smooth and the rough boundary. What about the smooth and the rough boundaries? Where K represents the average height of the surface roughness. See, this is the section of the pipe, and this is the inner side of the pipe. And you know, at the inner side of the pipe, you are observing the protrusion. You didn't get the smooth surface, but have the projected part, which is lying inside the pipe section. So what about this? So the K part represents the average height of the surface roughness, and delta dash is the height of the viscous laminar sublayer. Delta dash is the height of the viscous laminar sublayer. Outside the laminar sublayer, this is the laminar sublayer, the flow is turbulent. It is present in the turbulent zone. Try to penetrate the laminar sublayer and interact with the bond. If K is less than delta dash, you see that is the laminar sublayer, delta dash. How this thickness is going to be changing. This is applicable for the rough boundary, and you have seen that is a delta dash for the smooth boundary. See the difference. When K is less than delta dash, the eddies are unable to reach the surface irregularities. Hence, the boundary surface will behave like the smooth surface. So you have seen as per the diagram. And if K is less than delta dash, then EDs are unable to reach the surface irregularities. Hence, boundary surface will behave like the smooth surface. Then vice versa, K is greater than delta dash. These irregularities are above the laminar sublayer, leading to the interaction of the EDs with the surface irregularities. Hence, boundary surface will behave like the rough surface. So according to the Nikude's experiment is very much important. This experiment is helpful to identify either the boundary is smooth or either the boundary is rough now here. So the K by D is the ratio of this K is height of projects. This is thickness of the laminar layer. If it is less than 0.25, then boundary is smooth. If it is greater than 6, then boundary is rough. If it lies in between these two, you call as the is a transition phase in between the smooth surface to the rough surface. So according to the Nikude's experiment, already he has carried out the experiment by gluing the sands inside the pipe section, and they have to perform the more than 100 experiments, and production has been carried on the surface of the pipe now here, and he has to product it, and according to this value K by delta dash, he product either the boundary smooth or the rough. So this production would be possible according to this Nikude's experiment, Nikude's judgment. Then roughness Reynolds number, which represents as U star K by V. U star K by V is less than 4, the boundary is smooth. If it is greater than 100, then boundary is rough. If it lies in between this, then boundary is in the transition phase according to the Reynolds number. So the next concept, you understand it about what about the boundary layer separation. So boundary layer separation is nothing but along the length of the solid body, the thickness of the boundary layer increases, and the fluid layer next to the solid surface has to do work against the surface friction, This work is done at the expense of the kinetic energy, and the loss of the kinetic energy is recovered from the immediate fluid layer in contact through the momentum exchange. Hence, the velocity of the layer goes on decreasing. Also, although the length of the body, a certain stage may come when the kinetic energy is no longer sufficient to overcome the frictional resistance. Hence, the boundary layer will be separated. And the according to this phenomena is called the boundary layer separation. This phenomena is called the boundary layer separation. Now the point on the body at which the boundary layer is on the verge of the separation is called point of separation. Please remember. So the boundary layer will be separated from the surface. This phenomena is called the boundary layer separation, and the point on which the body where the boundary layer is to be separated is called the point of separation. So the flow reversal occur at the downstream of the point of separation. See here, this is the boundary layer. How the boundary is going to be separated, edges of the boundary layer, see the dotted line itself, it indicates that how the boundary layer is going to be separated, and this is the part of the separation of the streamline now here. And these are the conditions where it is given. If dp by dx is less than 0, if dp by dx is greater than the 0, that is applicable for the pressure with respect to the distance. This theory is applied with respect to the velocity, and you will be getting the separation region, and this point itself, it is the separation point. See with the diagram you can understand it very well. Now the next point is there, that is the effect of the pressure gradient on boundary layer separations. So as per the figure, you had observed that the flow area, these are the discussions on the previous diagram. Flow area is decreasing from A to the B, hence the velocity is increasing. hence the pressure is decreasing, velocity is increasing on one side, and the other side pressure is decreasing as per the phenomena in the direction of the flow. So the pressure gradient, that is dp by dx, is less than 0, is in the earlier condition, that is negative, and the favorable pressure gradient which is less than the 0, so occurring over the portion of AB. So over the portion of the AB, see here, this part, that is from A to the B. And in favorable pressure gradient zone, the flow is accelerated by pressure force. Hence, the boundary layer thickness keeps thin and hugs closely to the wall. Hence, at point B, area is minimum, so velocity is minimum, and hence the pressure is also the minimum. And from the point B to the E, see, from point B to the C, so this portion, from portion B to the E. So what will happen? See the discussions and the observations. Flow area is increasing, hence the velocity is decreasing, hence pressure is increasing in the direction of the flow. So therefore the pressure gradient dp by dx is almost greater than 0, is also remains the positive. In earlier case it was negative, but in the latter case that is a positive. This is the adverse pressure gradient, and in the zone of adverse pressure gradient the flow is decelerated by the pressure force, and the boundary layer is usually the thicker and does not hug closely to the wall. Hence the boundary layer, hence the boundary layer separates from the wall. Then note down these important points, that is the insights or the outcomes of these boundary layer separations. Du by dy with respect to the y is equal to 0, less than 0, then flow is separated. If it is equal to 0, then flow is on the verge of separation, and if it is greater than 0, the flow is attached with the surface. So this is, see that this is the comparison of boundary layer profile shape. This is the favorable condition, this is almost 0 condition, this is mild adverse condition, and the D part is the critical adverse condition, and you know the last part is the large adverse condition. See with the diagram it is going to be explained in the direction. It is the two-dimensional observations, we have seen it with the help of diagram. Now the control,
वर्ग ऑफ सेपरेशन म्हणजे काय असतं?
please don't disturb me, it is going on the recording. I will tell you later. Control of the boundary layer separation. So the control of the boundary layer separation is nothing but how to control if the boundary is going to be separated away from the solid wall of the pipe section. So boundary layer separation is associated with the continuous loss of the energy. So always you observe the continuous loss of the energy. What is the reason behind this? Because of that ED formation in the reverse flow region. Hence, separation of the boundary layer is indesirable, and methods for the preventing the separation. So these are the three methods you applied where you have to control the separation boundary layer. So by providing a streamlined profile to the body, supplying additional energy from a blower, suction of the flow, slow moving fluid by a suction slot. So the methods of control of the boundary layer separations, this is for the earlier case, latter case, how the boundary layer is separated, and the third part, what way that is to control the boundary layer separations. So this is the way to finish the task, and as per the figure, I will keep this in, and I am very much thankful to you because of that you have patiently listening this lecture.